And then we had to figure out, well, how the heck is he going to move around in space? And we remembered that we had done the fire extinguisher in the first act. So we put a fire extinguisher in the escape pod, and now it's become one of the most memorable scenes, and it's a big icon for, and big symbol in all the marketing. Her with her sort of circular blue rays in space, and with the fire extinguisher. I know we're breaking rules at the same time that we're following rules for space. We fully expect that we will be offending the true scientists out there. We let there be sound in space. We let there be flames in space. But at the same time, we try to play with some stuff. Just the fact that there's no gravity. Play with the fact that if you were to shoot an extinguisher, everything would just crystallize right away. And it gives a really sort of fantasy, romantic setting. That's what made us put the Axiom by a nebula. Probably completely playing with scale with the nebula, but still, it works for the movie. It gives you the excuse to have these really romantic colors out there and have it almost a dream sequence. So between the way that both of them fly and leave trails and the way that the nebula looks as a backdrop to the Axiom, it just really helps set the tone for what we need to go on with their relationship. That she can't help but be infected by how funny he is and how clever and curious he is. And that brought us with the whole idea of turning the camera work to the side and letting the retro thrusters of the engine actually feel sort of like fountains if you turn them vertically. It just all started to organically fall into place, you know, letting a couple other humans wake up and meet one another. I used to have this to a old Bing Crosby song, Stardust, for a while, and Ella Fitzgerald song. But Tom Newman really wanted to score something here, and when we really looked at the film, we thought, you know, it would make more sense that whatever theme you play when he first sees Eve fly on the planet, that you would reprise it in some way when the two of them fly around the Axiom, because he's kind of getting to join her now, and that would give you a little bit of an advancement in their relationship, just emotionally and musically. Before we had finished the movie, I wanted to have Peter Gabriel do the end song for the movie. Suddenly it made all sense as this film got together that he would be the perfect choice for an end song, and even more so if maybe he did something with Tom Newman, because I knew they were both fans of each other. And we actually got to make that work, and the song they wrote we loved so much, and we loved the melody, that we actually, Tom got inspired and went back and rescored Eve flying. So the tune, even if you don't connect it, that you're hearing when Eve flies on the planet for the first time while he watches her, is the song at the end of the movie. And then when the two of them fly around the Axiom, it's an even fuller version of that same tune. So there's a nice synergy through the whole film. There's a nice arc playing through the whole thing. Again, it just only makes the film stronger as a whole. Now I can't imagine it any other way. So coming up is a little robot that's a gag of being left outside, and his name is Bernie. We actually gave him that name after the movie was over because we realized we wanted to do a short that would sort of be a Rosencrantz Guildenstern gag of what happened through this whole movie while Bernie was stuck outside. And so for those of you watching this from the DVD, which I assume you are, you will see that short if you haven't watched it already, because it probably makes more sense to watch it after the movie. Another staple, I think, is John Ratzenberger. John Ratzenberger is going to be a voice for in the movie. He's pretty obvious in this one. He's the voice of John, and it's the first time he's played a character in any of our movies where he gets to have his own first name. John and Mary are the two humans that sort of meet each other and fall in love, and John gets to play John. And I think the last clue in here is the Pizza Planet truck, which you'll notice the Pizza Planet truck, when Eve is looking for something on the planet, she scans everywhere. It's a very quick shot of her throwing down the hood of the Pizza Planet truck. That was the easiest one to put in because it was just part of the trash. Okay, coming up is probably one of the only times I was able to allow Jeff Garlin to improv. It's one of the funnier moments that I think his character has when he's alone with the ship. He's a very good improv artist, and I feel a little bad that I didn't give him enough to be able to play that aspect of his talents, but it's still pretty funny. We're here, everybody. We're now kind of getting into probably the most talky scene in the film. We always called it Eve interrogation, which makes no sense because it was from an old scene where Eve actually used to be interrogated by the captain. it's morphed over the years, and it's really should be called The Captain Wakes Up. This is his scene for really realizing what his calling is. Jeff Garlin is the voice of the captain. Most people know him as Larry David's agent, also named Jeff, in Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO. And most kids would know him as one of the counselor parents in Daddy Daycare. I met him at the premiere for Nemo in Los Angeles, and he was just a huge fan of the film, and I was a huge fan of his work, and he just turned out to be the funniest, nicest guy. We kind of kept in touch with him. One of our coworkers here, Lee Unkrich, who was a co-director with me on Nemo, wanted to figure out how to direct actors and deal with improv acting, and he's a real authority on that, so he started doing some projects on the side with him. So we got to know him a little better, and we kind of knew him as a friend. And when I had to start doing a voice for the captain, I kind of wanted Jackie Gleason in a weird way, and I knew I couldn't get him. Jackie Gleason is no longer alive, but that's kind of the person I was thinking of. And I couldn't come up with names. We went through lots of names, listened to lots of voices, and then on one list, suddenly I saw Jeff's name, and it just suddenly struck me. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jeff. I mean, I hadn't even thought of it. And the minute I did, I knew right away that was it. That's the guy. I need somebody that can play lazy, that can play sort of unmotivated, but inside you sense a kindness, a charm, an appeal, because in truth, in real life, he's not like that. And he's very gregarious and very fun and just a lot of life to him. And I said, wouldn't that be cool if you could sort of reveal that over time and sort of turn him into that over the course of the film? And actually, I was pretty honored to take the role. He's a big fan of ours, and I'm happy that I could fulfill that wish for him. But I would have hired him even if that wasn't the case, or begged him to take the role, because now it just fits. We've actually, you probably sense a little bit of, it almost looks like him, and that tends to happen not so much from the actual design. The same thing happened with us with Ellen DeGeneres and Dory, is the animators will watch video of the actors when they're recording the vocals in our dialogue recording sessions. And they'll watch sort of the little facial tics that they have, the way their mouths move, or anything, that's kind of an attribute to the way that they act. And a lot of times they'll incorporate more often not the very subtle stuff. And then you see that applied in the animation. You get a real sense of like, wait a minute. A lot of people thought Dory looked like Ellen. And a lot of people think that the captain looks like Jeff. And I have to attribute most of that to the animators for just how they really captured his style of expression and speaking. He was a tough character to get right. It's hard to play lazy and not have it seem simple in your vocals. Almost monosyllabic is how we played him for a while, because we wanted him that lazy, and it came across as dumb. Because you're reading into everything, because you don't know what's happened to humanity in 700 years, you don't know what the rules are. We found that whenever we played something almost kind of, I guess, Homer Simpson-esque, people would just assume, okay, humanity got dumb. Humanity got really dumb, and then people would not like humanity, or especially the captain representing humanity. So we finally just stopped trying to do things like that and learned how to make him just come across tired, but still very vocal, has a broad range of vocabulary, but just unmotivated at first, and it really kind of opened our eyes to how we should be playing the captain. I'm sure most fans know that A113 is something we put in all the films. It's the most direct we've ever done it is in this film. We actually make it the secret code for staying out in space and not returning to Earth. And that used to be a room at California Institute of the Arts, which is an alma mater of many of us at Pixar who were animators, went to the animation school there. And A113 was the room where we all had classes. And Brad Bird started that by putting it on a license plate, I think, in Family Dog and Amazing Stories, and then we sort of carried the tradition into the Toy Story movies, and everybody's done it since. So all this information that Fred Willard is saying, the CEO of By and Large, in an older version of the movie, this information was told in the middle of the movie, sort of earlier in Act 2, and it was privately witnessed by Otto. We suddenly showed Otto with the plant, and he went down into the bowels of the brains of the ship and watched this footage, and then had the plant given to Gopher to be disposed of.